Hey guys, what's up? This is Ken Susi from Fishman Live. I have an excellent guest today, Mr. Andy Williams. But before I get him on the screen, as I said before, we are dealing with the ways to avoid this current pandemic. And now we're seeing how it's affected the music industry. And obviously, it's affecting everyone's lives. So we're dealing with the social and business economic crisis at the same time. Well, it's like an economic crisis and social crisis at the same time. But please remember to adhere from your regulations of your state. Do not go out, or if you do go out, be careful. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. and he looks super handsome, Andy
Yeah.
Williams from Every Time I Die here on the Fishman Live feed. What's that? Dude, what have you been doing, man? Like, what's been going on? You're up in what is it, Tonawanda, Buffalo, or
Nice.
something?
We're in Buffalo now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
We're going to North Tonawanda later today to use my parents' backyard for a workout.
I was gonna ask, what do you? You're obviously like Mr. Gym guy. You and your lady. What are you doing for workouts? How are you gonna use your parents'
And it,
backyard?
and talking about the grand scheme of how everything's working right now, I think this is like the one. I guess I'll start with posy talk right away. Is like the one good thing I think that this is giving us is like it's making everybody think outside the box. Whether it's like shopping for groceries, like you know what I mean, like Hannah, my girlfriend is super. She's like she works for a food company and she's in the marketing industry, and like the amount of like online shopping that is happening right now is insane. And I think like older people are realizing that they can do it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like a big thing where like I think this is like a cool time for like our parents and stuff like that to actually realize that like technology isn't going to destroy us at some point in time. If anything's going to destroy us, it's going to be us. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like fucking it up somehow.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of what the world is saying is like, hey guys, I'm sick and you guys are responsible. So we're going to, we're going to hurt you for a second. And, but to move back, it's kind of just giving me the opportunity to like think outside the box. So I've been doing a lot of workouts with like sandbags and stuff like that. So like they make like Rogue Athletics like makes an exercise sandbag with like handles on it and stuff like that. And my workouts are actually like better now than they were when I was like at a gym, because like when you go to a gym, it's just like I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do these like 5 random workouts and then get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And you kind of get stuck like a hamster in a wheel. Where like now every workout is completely different than the one I did before because I have to like think outside the box. And it's like cool. Like in my wrestling life, like I'm doing a lot of lifts that are awkward. So
yeah,
like it helps in that. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
just dude, it's so fucked, man. Like it's crazy.
Well, before we go on that topic, because I obviously have questions about that. We're streaming. Fishman's streaming from Facebook Live. We're doing a live broadcast on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So if you have any questions for Andy, I'll be looking at a screen and I'll be reading them off to Andy as we go. But dude, yeah, I picture you being like one of those guys, like Stallone. I'd say Stallone, like Rocky Four, up in Russia
Monta.
in the
Yeah,
cold, like just doing the sit ups, getting punched by a
literally.
guy. Is that like your workout kind of?
Literally. Me and Hana, there's a high school right by us that has like a fucking has like a track that's open, like a rubber track. And
Yeah.
we go there and just do the lamest things. Like I'm like going through like wrestling in my head. I'm like thinking of like things to do wrestling, and that poor girl has to like be like, hey, throw a clothesline at me, all right. And then like I duck a clothesline, like weave through and do something. You know what I mean? Like so it's cool. And I think like that's a good thing too, is like because like my girlfriend is the love of my life, I get to spend an extreme amount of time with her. And like that's like the silver lining I think of this, is that like I'm a fucking busy person. In the last like 4 months I've been busier than I've ever been in my life. And like that home takes a hit. You know what I mean? So like if you're looking at life in a pie chart, like home pie chart, like the home, pie was very thin, and wrestling and music was like outweighing it. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna say, like you obviously, dude. I've known you since maybe '97 or so. We met at what was it, the Hanover House in Connecticut or something like that. Like you and I have been doing the band thing for, I mean, 20 plus years at this point. But beyond that, I mean, I was super surprised you taking over, trying to do the wrestling thing because I mean, that's a huge. That's like building a band from scratch. You're playing like small VFW halls, and then the next thing you know, you're playing larger venues. Like
Yeah.
obviously your real life kind of takes people are popping on right now yelling the butcher, but yeah,
Yeah.
like right now that's going to take a huge toll on your social life. So
Yeah.
how is that? I mean, now obviously you like this, but how's it been?
I mean, I honestly couldn't have found a better person. You know what I mean? Like Hana, I think Hana realizes that like we got to do this shit while we can because as soon as I can't physically do it, that's done. And I don't want to like, in her respect, like she's thinking about me solely, and she's saying, "Hey, you know, you probably have a good like 7 more years, let's say." You know what I mean? I don't want anyone to watch my wrestling in 7 years because it's
Yeah.
going to be shot. Um, but it's cool that like she understands that like there's a very small window I can do this,
Yeah.
and like at this point in time, I'm doing it at the highest level, which is to me an insanity. You know what I mean? I trained to be a wrestler when I was fucking 18 years old,
Yeah.
and then stopped doing it for 21 years, and now am doing it. And like, you know, AEW, in my opinion, obviously, I'm you know, I'm on under contract with that company, but the vibe that that company has is just incredible. Like it's honestly like the best. I love working with Every Time I Die. I don't consider Every Time I Die a job. I think that's just something that like you and I are very lucky that we hit that chord, and people are interested in our music
Yep.
because it's very subjective. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
But now I have a job. Like I actually have at 42 years old my first job in like fucking 18 years or something like that because I've toured nonstop.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Well, that's
and to me,
yeah. I was gonna say, I saw you in what Worcester almost less than a year ago, and now you're like you said you're with AEW. It's like you're
yeah,
on TV now. Like how what happened with that jump? Like how did that
it's
happen?
crazy, man. And it's just, I mean, it all timing, dude. It's just one of those things. Like it's, uh, it just I don't know. I literally don't even have an answer, man. It's just, you know, we busted our ass wrestling on the indies, and I was fortunate enough to have a very chill year with Every Time I Die.
Yep.
So like touring wasn't there. So me and Jess just hit it. You know, we hit the road and just we wrestled anywhere that would book us. You know what I mean? And I think our work was always very good, and I think it just got recognized. And you know, the people at AEW were like, wow, this is a solid tag team that we could bring in and really like push not only that tag team, but like we're doing a good job pushing the other tag teams as
Yep.
well. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's the like I said, it's the weirdest thing. Like you obviously like our bands I think started within like 4 months of each other. I think you guys are 4 months older than us or 5 months older than us.
But you guys are like the first dudes we met out of town.
Exactly.
Like ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like think about it now, you know, like our bands aren't fucking Slipknot. Our bands aren't Metallica. So like to get older, and you know, I'm 42 now, you're 41, 40.
41.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So like you realize that like maybe a guitar isn't going to be the thing that pays the bills all the time.
Yeah.
And now you have to start thinking of like hustling, you know what I mean? And like the problem is I spent so much time touring that I completely forgot that, oh fuck, there's no like 401k, or you know what I mean? Like you have to come up with different ways to do it. And like that's the thing, like now you're doing your photos, and
Yeah.
like you're working with Fishman, and you're still doing Unearth.
Yeah.
And like it's funny when you do these other things, the questions come. They're like, "Oh, is Ken going to be on the next tour? Is, you know, like,
Yeah.
is Andy going to be there the next tour?" And it's like, I only missed one show in 21 years.
Yeah.
And it was because I wrestled Diamond Dallas Page. You know what I mean? Like,
That's a good excuse.
so it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's fine. And like when I went to the dudes and like brought that up, Like not one person was like, ugh. They were all just like, yeah, fucking go do it. Like,
Yeah.
of course, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like the fortunate thing is like we've been surrounded by our best friends, and we get to do we get to do what we love with our best friends, and then like, but you have to make money. Like it's just like you have to live, and it gets harder when you get older. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you have a life. You have more. You're more grounded with things. It's funny too. Like you mentioned my photography. Like I did that in high school. I did that in college. I also played sports. So like to revisit all that later in life is such a blessing because you're still. I mean, you're 42 years old, but you're still in a great shape. You could still wrestle.
But if you think about it though, like
Yeah.
it's weird because when you talk about this, there's a fine line because it makes it sound like you stopped loving music.
Yep.
Because you started doing the other hustles. That is not the case at all.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
When I'm on stage with Every Time I Die, I'm not 43 years old. I'm a 20-year-old kid that's like living with my best friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just now when I went to wrestling, now I'm just that fucking idiot kid that backyard wrestled. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it at 43.
Yeah.
And like the payment of like my body breaking down is way different now than it was then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing. It's just like music where like you have to understand, you have to know your role in wrestling. And like, I'm not a guy that's going to be doing fucking backflips and shit like that.
No.
You have to wrestle to your ability. And it's a really cool thing because even if I go out there and I do my thing at at what I think is the highest level for myself.
Yeah.
I'm still in there as like a 20-year-old kid. I'm not there as a 43-year-old kid. Like when I go back and like trip on a crack and my knee hurts after the match, I'm going to go, fuck, I'm old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I'm in the ring, I'm 20. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. Like that's the type of shit like right now that I can't do either. Like it's fucking murdering me because I've done this since I was a kid and like continually been 20 years old.
Well, that's the crazy thing is that okay. So I know how it is. You were just in the studio. I think you guys just finished with Will Putney up in Buffalo. Yeah. So it's funny because you could like in this time period. Like for me, we're just finishing our album cycle. We're just about to start recording. So I'm well, it's not recording, but start writing again. I could sit here and write. You on the other hand, they've just got out of the studio. There's nothing for you to do. Like you can't just go back. Like you put so much creative energy. There's no way you're going to go back in and write after just recording a record.
It's just practice. Like that's the thing. Like it's cool, but at the same time, it's like you're getting ready for a gig that might not happen. And it's hard to put the time in because it doesn't seem like there's a future. The time doesn't matter right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the only time that mattered was I knew that I had to do something today at 3:30.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's it. And then everything else is down. So if I got up at fucking 3 a.m. and ate a fucking bowl of cereal and went back to bed, there's like no repercussion for that because I can sleep until fucking 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like it's just so fucking weird to me. And like, again, that's like why I'm lucky to have Hannah because Hannah's like such a go-getter that like, there's times where I'm like today, dude, I got up and I was like last night, we went to bed in the middle of a Project Runway episode.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sleep for like an hour and a half because I couldn't stop thinking about Project Runway. That I like, when I woke up, the first thing I wanted to do was watch Project Runway.
Exactly.
And like, Hannah's still working. You know, she works from home. So like, she's working. And then like, out of nowhere, she's like, hey, we should probably go take the dog for a walk. And then I look and I'm like, holy fuck, it's noon. I've been watching Project Runway since 8 a.m.
It's amazing that you would get locked in on that type of a show. I did the same thing last night. I'm watching Lego Masters, right? Did you see that show yet?
Anything that is competition. Anything. I would watch a quilt making competition if it was on fucking TV. Any competition show, I'm in.
That's so funny. Yeah, like
I'm in.
I'm kind of there too because I've been watching too much Netflix, too many like dramas or I want movies or whatever. I needed something that was a rush. And Lego Masters, like you know Jordan from Every Time I Die, right? The drummer. Jordan
from Every Time I Die.
Sorry, Jordan from As I Lay Dying. The other band.
That was great.
Yeah, Jordan. Not the other Jordan. 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 As I Lay Dying. He's a Lego builder. He's like a Lego master. So really? I gotta hit him up about that show. It just I don't know. I was just thinking about him all night.
I would love to see him on that.
Oh, hilarious!
I love competition. I've watched probably every episode of Chopped
Yeah.
while I've been here, and I was like, dude, I need something. I need another competition to like think. And Hannah was like, yo, let's watch this like new Project Runway show. But the problem is that they have this new show on Amazon. I can't tell you what it's called. It starts with an H, but like it's all the same people from Project Runway, but they have to do I don't know whatever. So but it's episode by episode, and I can't wait a week.
Oh yeah.
So I need my Project Runway. So then she just started. She goes, well, "Let's watch actual Project Runway." I was like, "All right." So I just like searched like what's the best season of Project Runway. So we're watching season 8 because like Hulu only has from like 8 to 35 or whatever the fuck it was.
Whatever it is, yeah.
But dude, I'll watch anything competition.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Characters, there's always characters. Michael Kors might be the best character on TV.
Yeah.
Like he's exactly what Mugatu is from Zoolander.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible.
That's amazing though, dude. I love the fact that you're getting hooked on stuff. Like I think everyone's home watching TV right now. It's just it's unavoidable.
What's great though is I'm hooked on other stuff too though, man. Like I'm cooking and like, you know, me and Hannah like cook every single night and like just shit like that. And like I said, going back to like the workout thing, like the workout is a strategy now. It's not like I said, it's not like go to the gym and just like, yeah, try to get a shoulder pump. Hey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like now, like how the fuck do I get a shoulder pump when I don't have a bar? I don't have, you know what I mean? And dude, you can't buy a bar right now.
No, you can't.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't buy dumbbells. You can't buy shit. Anything that is like helping you to help you physically is like bought out, except for these fucking sandbag things.
I know. And in your case is much different than mine. Like I still play college level and like, you know, grown men level hockey and soccer.
Yeah.
I am just doing all plyometrics, all P90X, like Insanity, all that type of stuff. I can get away with that, but you need an actual workout. You need a lift, you know?
Yeah.
So
but I think a lot of it is plyometrics though. Like that's the thing. It's like I never understood, like I could sit there and fucking deadlift 500 pounds. I know it's 500 pounds as I'm lifting it, but then after there's no like, I don't get pumped. You know what I mean? Like on a deadlift, I don't have that pump where like when I go out and I do these little plyometric workouts, like I'm fucking sore constantly. And like, but my weight's staying exactly the same. So I know that like, and in wrestling, for some reason that means something.
Yeah.
And you know, I need to be 250 pounds. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. If I went to 225 and then I went back to TV, people would be like, "What the fuck?" That's 25 pounds dropped. You know what I mean? So, you know, I have to keep my weight up, but at the same time, it's like I have to keep my wind up. I have to keep it's crazy, dude. Especially at this level. I'm not 20 years old. Like
Well, my one request. I don't know if you guys take requests, like, but. You know, Butcher and Blade, but next time you do an event in Boston, I really need you, and it's probably going to be in Boston. I need you to do a Boston Crab on somebody to end the match in Boston. Like I've never seen it done before.
That'll probably be saved for the top guys.
Oh, you think?
You know, Kenny Omega will probably hit a Boston Crab in Boston. Cody definitely will.
Okay, well then maybe just deal out some fresh ones in the parking lot after the gig.
I'll try to hit one in the match. It'll probably get reversed and I'll get pinned off of it, but yeah.
So other than wrestling, I mean, what have you been doing like for the studio? How was that whole recording? Do you have a new name for the record? Like what was it like recording with Will?
This whole thing, like it didn't put like a halt on things, but like we have a little bit of time now where it's like we have a few names we're trying to figure out. At this point in time, we're trying to figure out artwork. And it's, you know, the one thing with the coronavirus is it's kind of given us a little bit of time on it and not make a haste decision. We're going through the mixes because we just recorded Will Putney. He's in New Jersey, and like New Jersey's been on a standstill since this thing started, you know? So like he couldn't get into the studio when he needed to. He still had to put all of his shit back, like, cause we recorded it in Buffalo. So like, you know, he had a truck full of shit that he needed to put back in his studio. He foreclosed a house the day he came home.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Not foreclosed. Sorry. He
Bought a
he could
house.
move into a house.
Yeah.
That the day he got home. So like the minute he got home, he had to like get to his house, like sign the papers, start moving into his new house.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he has this like record that he needs to, mix and stuff. And he's mastering it too. So he's doing a lot of work on it.
Yeah. Did you guys do, I mean, what was it like in the studio? What's the new record like? I mean, obviously it's going to sound like Every Time I Die, but do you guys
Yeah.
do anything new? Take any chances? Like, did Will push you guys?
The entire thing is a chance. It's awesome. It's not any different. It doesn't deviate from like any sound. We just wanted to go in and make sure that we wrote 16 songs, and we wanted all 16 songs to be able to make it on a record.
Nice.
So like, when you're like writing a record and you're like, okay, this one could possibly be a B-side.
Yeah, it's like at least 7 songs out of the record I usually write.
But you know what I mean? You're having like those doubts immediately.
Yeah.
Like none of us had these doubts, and it's the first time that's happened. Maybe since like Hot Damn, and the only reason why is because we only had 9 songs going into it and then wrote one there. So we didn't have the option to like choose, songs. So this is like, that's the thing, man. When Biggie, our manager, like finally had heard the record, like done, not mixed, but like the songs, he was just like, dude, what are we going to do? Like, how do we pick 16? How do we pick 12 songs or whatever? Like, you have 16, and we were just like, all 16.
Yeah.
Just record. And he's just like, and then like, how managers are, just, and they're just like, he's like saying like, well, we can't do that. It's got to be a certain amount of time, and then blah, blah. And it's just like, no, just make it fucking happen.
Yeah.
It's 2020, dude.
Yeah.
They can grow a fucking human ear on a rat's back. You can put 16 songs in a fucking CD.
If a CD even exists.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Just release 16 fucking songs.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, Will usually has a good perspective on track listings and whatnot. I'm sure he wean them out too. Did he give you guys any advice on that?
No.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like, we wrote the perfect record for our band, and like
nice.
it's impossible, dude. Every day when we get new mixes, it's like, oh, this would be a good first song. Oh, this would be a good first song. It's so hard, man. And like to pick, 3 songs or 4 songs to go, it's going to be impossible, man. Like it literally is going to be impossible. So either like ETID fans are going to get a sick 12 song LP, and then later on get a very sick EP.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or it's just like, fucking just put 16 songs out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who cares?
I back it because this is like the Wild Wild West now. I mean, you don't necessarily have restrictions. You don't have to put X amount of songs on a record. You do whatever you want. It's all about singles and whatnot. But if you guys feel like the record's complete, then release whatever you want. Who cares?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And like that's it. Most of this shit is streamed now, and like vinyl heads want vinyl stuff. And the sick part is, if you put 16 songs on vinyl, you get a cool LP. Then you get an EP, and then you get a picture disc. You know what I mean? Like on that. There's not gonna be songs on it, but that. And for us, man, we write shit riffs, like just terrible shit riffs. Like when we were doing pre-production, there was a day where Will just hit record, and we just played for 30 minutes. We played the worst riff possible.
Yeah,
just put that on there. Anyone wants a fucking laugh, take a listen.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, I'm thinking. I have a couple album concept names for you. I have one.
Okay.
Get a bunch of like real strong men. I know you don't. I know you know a lot of guys that are beefy, but call it Fortress. Yeah. Fortress a solid dude.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's almost It's almost kind of like I'm imagining Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
But like
big guys.
Very buff. Like just like one of the dudes from American Gladiators.
Nitro.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. Yeah, like and it's just I get what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, because it's like
it's
a wall of men.
It's not ice. It's like it's made out of sweat.
Yeah, you can barely climb it. It's too greasy.
Yeah, I like it.
So So obviously, that's all happening. Any plan of touring? I mean, obviously, like everyone's kind of stuck now, right? Like,
Dude,
th-
that's we're like we have one tour in
well,
September that we were supposed to go to. We were supposed to go to Australia in June with Parkway Drive.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then we have a tour, like a European tour, sometime in September.
yeah.
Like it's booked, but you just don't know. You know, we're like sitting on like artwork. It was supposed to be announced last week, and we're just waiting. You know, it's honestly like it's literally hard for everybody, man. It's this is like insane. Like Cuomo today said that he's upping the fine for people being congregated from a $500 fine to $1,000 fine, and that's like anyone that's in a place with 5 people or more.
Yep.
And that's like if you're at the park walking the dog and you're under, you know, whatever those fucking things are, and there's
Yeah.
5 people sitting there, you're getting a ticket for $1,000, dude. You know
My
what I mean?
my front house guy, he lives in Serbia, and when this all started over there, they were doing a minimum of 3 years in jail if you were caught outside after a certain time.
And I bet, and you want to know what's crazy is I bet you their numbers went down drastically
Probably.
with being, with how many people contracted the virus and stuff. I know that like today, like I read about, like New York's like numbers are way down now. Like New York City's like numbers are way down now
Yep.
because they're actually, like people are taking serious. But then there's like people saying that there's a huge basketball court in San Francisco, and it's like 10 courts. And yesterday, the like courts were fully full of people playing basketball in San Francisco. And then there was on the wharf in DC, they did like a fucking seafood festival, and like 1,600 people showed up for it.
Oh my God.
So it's like, no one's gonna learn on
No.
this, but it's only because we as people were just fucking selfish,
Yeah.
and like, you can be fucking Mother Teresa, but like, if someone's gonna try to take something of yours from you,
Yeah.
you're gonna stand up to it, and like,
Yeah.
that's the problem is that like people aren't thinking about other people; they're thinking about themselves, and
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I was gonna say, like, obviously your other guys. I mean, some of you guys are in Buffalo, some of you guys on the West Coast. What's going on with the other guys in your band, like Jordan, Keith, and Steve and stuff? How is everybody holding up? Have you talked to them?
yeah. I mean, we talk every day, but it's the same shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird because you have, again, man, thinking outside the box, like to have conversations with your friends, you have to talk about anything else except for being social because you can't be social.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, hey, what did you and your girlfriend watch last night? Oh, we
Exactly.
watched this thing, and like you're living vicariously through streaming sites
Yeah.
and like not living vicariously through like seeing stuff in the world.
Yeah.
But that again, like I know I keep saying the fucking thing about thinking outside the box, but like when we go take the dog for a walk, like think about the shitty neighborhoods that you've heard people talk about your entire life and you've never been to, and it's like 10 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
Hannah and I are like going to these places just to see what they're about. We just bought a house. We just bought a house, and we move in 2 weeks. So like, it's a whole new neighborhood. So like, we went to the neighborhood, like walked the dog around the neighborhood, seen what was in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and then like there's a city called Akron by us,
Yep.
right? It's like right outside of Buffalo.
Yeah.
I wrestled there once when I was like a kid in high school. I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about that city.
Yeah.
So the other day we were like, let's go to Akron. All right, cool. Go to Akron, and then there's like a waterfall there, and there's like cool shit. So
Yeah.
it's kind of helping us kind of discover where people aren't and going to those places.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't know that many people going, oh, I'm going to go to Akron. So
Are you seeing people so you're like taking actual like drives and stuff out? Are you seeing people out of their houses, or are they mainly staying in up in Buffalo?
It all depends. You know what I mean? Like state parks. Like we went to a couple state parks and stuff, and like you'd go there and you're walking the dog, and it's like it's just me, her, and the dog.
Yep.
And then there's just like 8 people just like walking together, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? And then you're not even close to, you know what I mean? Like they think you're weird because you're stepping to the side and letting them go.
Yeah.
Where it's like, motherfucker, you can't go near me right now. Like go, like just get the fuck away from me, man.
Yeah.
And it sucked. Like Zelda's like the best dog in the world.
Yeah.
But she just, when she's on a collar, when she's on a leash, she just doesn't like being on a leash. So like when people are around, you never know. She could like, she never bit anyone. She won't never bite anyone. She just gets loud.
Yep.
But like you'd think that a pit bull just barking nonstop would make people just go, oh, I'm going to go away. Then they just stand there and like, oh, she's so cute. It's like, obviously she does not want you here.
Yeah.
Please keep walking.
It's it stinks too, because me and my chick, there's one park that's near our house. It's near Tufts University or Tufts Medical Hospital. It's one of the biggest animal hospitals in Mass. There's this like big open area. We have a beagle, so the beagle literally can't be off leash ever because he'll run away. But it's the one place he can go. So we decided to hop in the car, drive down there, and like he knew exactly where he's going. His head's out the window, and sure enough, they closed all like dog parks because they want people to congregate there. So it's such a bummer, but you know she's on a hike with him right now, so that's what we've been doing. We've just been taking him on long walks.
Baseball diamonds.
Yep.
Tennis courts.
Yep.
Like, dude, that's where we gotta take her. You know what I mean? And it sucks. She's like all like awkward and weird and like clumsy.
Yeah.
So we like the first time we take her to like a tennis court, I like throw the ball or whatever, and she like goes and just eats shit like on concrete. Her fucking chin is bleeding. Like, you know what I mean? Like the poor dog right now is just beat up because like we're taking her to like different places and like she has to adapt like we adapt. You know, like it is really strange, man. It's so, and like you think about it, like our jobs, we're very social, man, and we have to be around people. And like for you and I, for 21 years, have been around people constantly.
Well, people also get offended if you and I don't show them like the love, like walking from like say the club to if you're going to grab food or something, and someone says what's up to you, and you don't spend time with them, they feel like you're a jerk, you know? So things are going to change after this somewhat.
Very much so, man. And I like, there's going to be like residual, even if they say like, hey guys, it's cool, you can go out now. There's still going to be that residual. I mean, I don't want to say like racism, but like there's going to be like a bigotry over coronavirus where it's going to be like, hey man, hey, I don't know. You might still have it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be funky, man. I think this is gonna be funky for I think this is gonna be like a year long. Not saying we're gonna be secluded for a year. I don't think as humans we're gonna like get past this very quick.
So like you and I both did like the Warp Tour and what was it? The Ozfest. Like Ozfest and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Taste of Chaos, or not Taste of Chaos, but fucking Sounds of the Underground.
Sounds of the Underground. Yeah. So think about that. Like think about Ozfest. How many hands would you and I sign a day in those meet and greet lines? That's just not going to be a thing anymore, don't you think?
No. No. I like right now, man. I don't want to shake anyone's hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we go to my parents' house and work out in the backyard so they can stay on the fucking thing and we can talk.
Yeah.
Just so I can see my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you guys stay there. We're going to be here. And like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think your folks are around the same age as mine too. And it's like, have they gotten to that point too, where they feel like they've been home enough to feel like they can't sit home? Like my dad is like one of those guys who's like, it's not that bad out. And I'm like, you haven't been out. And he feels like he can go to like Cumberland Farms and go get a coffee or something. And it's like, don't go out.
my dad retired.
Yeah.
He retired. It would have been a year and a half ago, retired. And then he still worked 1 day a week at this factory.
Yeah.
So like semi-retired or whatever. And then they like didn't need him anymore. So like he was like fully retired.
Yeah. And
then he started working at a golf course. And then recently, he did this thing where he works with my uncle for like the sewage like company of like North Tonawanda, like the city that they live in.
Yeah.
And he's like working. And like, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? And he was sick. I remember he had like a lung thing like a month and a half ago. And I was like, dude, just stay home. Don't go anywhere. And then he got this job and he's just working. And it's just like, on, man. You're 70 years old. You don't need to work.
Yeah, stop going out, even if it's for 2 weeks or whatever it is. Just like stop it. Yeah, I hear you. Well, we have Steve up on YouTube Live asking what's the flop like. So
Oh, what is the flop like?
the flop is, I don't know. I'm gonna ask the BJ dealer at the casino. The Steve is so have you guys had a ban intervention yet? Tell him to not go to the casino during this pandemic.
I honestly wish he could go to the casino right now because I know how much he loves it. But like the casinos are the first thing to close.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Disgusting. It's like a cesspool.
I know. He
Brother's
kills.
I mean, to be honest with you, he's definitely online gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to know what it is. Steve, if you're still there, like let us know.
What's the play?
Yeah, what's the flop like online right now?
Dude, I have a buddy who wrestles named Brody King.
Yep.
And he came to Buffalo. He plays Cronus. He plays this like slot machine called Cronus.
Yeah.
And he won $8,000 at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he won $8,000, then won $8,000 on a Cronus in Las Vegas, and then he can't go to casinos, so he's been playing online, and he's won like $3,500.
What's the deal with that? What is that? Is he just good at that game? I mean, usually those things are automated.
I would never win.
Yeah, no,
guaranteed.
Yeah.
If I signed up for online gambling, my money would go because I would never win. But him, he's fucking whatever. Yeah.
Well, you and I have like, you know, we've known each other for a long time, but we've also toured a lot together. It's like I personally don't win too much at the casino, but for some reason when I'm with Jordan and Steve at the casino, I don't know what it is, but once I start heckling the dealer with those guys, it seems like I win. Like we all win money. I don't know what it is. Just that combination of the three of us is just insane.
You have Steve with you. That's why. Steve, anything that involves money, Steve's like good at.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good at a lot of stuff.
He's good at blowing it too sometimes.
He's very good at money. You know what I mean? Like very good. So like it makes sense. Yeah. It's so funny though, because there's times where like we'll play Vegas and like he will gamble the entire time we're there. So like if we're there for 18 hours, he's gambling for 17 and playing for 1 hour. You know the band? Yeah. And I'm making them sound like a degenerate gambler. He's not a degenerate gambler. Let me just say
he's a lifestyle guy.
Yes. And he knows, like, he won't play if he gets a vibe.
He always has a vibe. Right now, he's just running online poker, so he's on online poker.
Yes, of course he is.
Oh, man.
Of course he is. Him and Garlip are probably just fucking going. Probably gambling against each other.
That's so funny.
He's very good at money, man, and he understands, like, vibes in, like, casino. Yeah. And like I was saying, is like, I've asked him before, I was like, hey, man, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, when we're in Vegas. And he'll say a number that he's like down, and this is at like say like 6 p.m. or something like that, and then like at 3 a.m. when he's done, you're like, where is it? And he'll give you like the whole report, and it's like crazy story. It's like, well, I was down 300 at this point, but then I won 600, and like in your head you're just kind of like doing the math, and then you're like, well, where are you now? And he's just like, oh, I'm 200 up, but there's like
so many swings,
like drastic variations.
I love the guys that say that lose and then they say they're even, but that even number is, I think, accumulative over their lifetime.
Like, yo, what? Like Slow wrote a book about poker.
Yeah.
And like in the grand scheme of things, was like you've toured with him for what, 10 years? 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years for sure.
So like, was he up? Or was he down? You know what I mean?
No, he was always breaking even. Like he'd always be up, and then would stop it. Like would be in like Chicago the next day, but they would find a casino down there, and then he'd be like, I'm down 200, and then it would be the same thing. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, like I said, vicariously living through Steve is when we're like near a casino is great because the story, like the variation stories, is insane.
Yeah, but seeing him like being there next to him and like gambling and seeing the excitement of winning like on his face is the greatest. It's the greatest thing ever.
I'm not kidding you. Like a lot of people are doing the cameo thing right now.
Yeah.
And like I think Steve should do something where he's the most excited human being when he's excited about something.
Yeah.
I knocked a dude out once at a party.
Yeah.
and I hit the guy so hard, and it made the craziest sound. Steve just heard the sound and saw the guy on the ground, and like screamed and jumped into a pine tree. Like that's
a solid bandmate right
for
there.
something very violent. He like was super excited, jumped into a pine tree. Like him, like when the Bills win.
Yep.
Like when the Bills get a first down. Like I wish I had that excitement about anything the way he loves a first down.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, I love all Buffalo teams. I'm rooting for you guys. Obviously, I'm a Mass guy, but say the Bills look good, so Steve might have more joy in his life at this point.
I hope so. Oh yeah, you guys lost Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, he'll. I think we'll be fine. I'm not sure though.
Yeah,
maybe I'm optimistic.
I think you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. What happened with you and your the podcast? Are you still doing your podcast?
No, I mean, yes, technically, but no. Like, AEW lands on Wednesdays. We always release them on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And we have to travel. Like, I travel like Tuesday night, get into the city. We have all day Wednesday, but usually it's like we have like press to do, or we have to like call our match. You know what I mean? Or like we have to film a promo. That usually goes until about 11 p.m. and then the next day you're flying again. So you're like traveling. You'd really have, for me and Jess to do it, we'd like really have to like set time aside.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, like I was thinking about a pie chart, and like I really needed that one section to get back.
Yeah.
So I just didn't have the time. I was like, dude, there was a point in time where whenever we started recording, I never stopped, dude. I was at the studio. I would be at the studio until 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, drive straight to the airport, fly to wherever the fuck we needed to be, do my wrestling. Then dude, you're done at 11. You get back to the hotel probably like midnight after like eating something. And I'd be up at 4 a.m. on a flight back to Buffalo, land in Buffalo, go straight to the studio.
Yeah.
So like, I just didn't have the time.
Yeah. I mean, like touring all the years that you did, how it is to like play a show and have a long drive and sleep in the van and then get up in the morning, and then, or in Europe, like, oh, you got a festival after playing the night before, you're playing early the next day, and like you're living this life. I respect it. Like Every Time I Die is not a phony band. You guys definitely still get in the van. You guys still hustle. Yeah. In all aspects of your life, and that's why you guys are such a great live band. It's awesome.
Yeah. It honestly is like, like how like the first week of tour is like just the grandest thing.
Yep.
Second week, it's still cool.
Yeah.
Third week, polish starts coming off of it. Fourth week, polish starts coming off of it. The one really cool thing I love about my bandmates is that the polish really doesn't come off until like the last week of tour.
Yeah.
Like we know why we're on tour, and like we stay said, but that last week you kind of get a little senioritis and you just kind of like waiting to go home. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know bands, and you've probably toured with bands where like 3 days in, they're just like, oh man, I want to go home. It's like, dude, we're in the middle of America right now. Like we haven't hit a coast yet.
Yeah.
Like, what are you for? What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're in Lincoln, Nebraska. Give me a break.
Yeah. That's the thing. And like the show's great, but it's like, you haven't played like LA or New York or Chicago or Dallas. You know what I mean? Like all the hot spots. And that's like the one cool thing I think about the band is like, we know how to not be around each other if we need to not be around each other. Yep. Which I'm sure you've probably become pretty good at.
I'm real good at it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm fortunate enough. I know there was like a point in time, I think on that Mastodon tour, there was a point where like Jordan came up to me and he goes, dude, where are you? I don't ever see you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, I go to the gym. You know what I mean? Yep. Like I go work out and I get food and I come back and like, if I don't need to be near everyone, I don't need to be near everyone. And like, that's the cool part about like, I guess like when you're touring at an old age is like, sometimes when something's up, like when someone's like going to do something, it's like, dude, I don't want to be on anyone's nerves.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? Like we've been doing this for so long, like we don't need to be around each other 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let me just go do my gym thing. I'm not hurting anybody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But it was just really cute. Like, Jordan being like, he noticed I wasn't like around when we were on that Mastodon tour. And it was just, I was just living away and, working out and,
Yeah.
No,
I'm the same way because I'll either like work out before we leave if we're on a van tour. I'll work out before we leave. But once we get there, I'm like all about the Marriott. I'm all about walking around taking pictures, and I like staying away from everybody. So when I get into the show and I see everybody, I'm fresh. I'm like, all right, guys, how you doing? Yeah, it's nice to see you. Mix it up a little bit, tell a couple jokes, some old war stories, and then get up on stage and play. It makes things easy.
Yeah, and that's like all of us do that. Like Jordan does his art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keith now like writes. For man, he writes
for everybody. Yeah,
he's writing fucking TV shows right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't be more prouder than I am on my bandmates because they've honestly made a name for themselves outside of the band.
Yep.
On other things.
Yep.
And it's the coolest thing in the world.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we obviously Unearthed loves touring with you guys. We like playing Bago with you guys. That seems to pass the time considering we play for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Dude, my bags and my boards are at my sister's house right now.
Yeah.
And it's fucking beautiful out. And like, I want to go, but I don't want to see my sister.
I am obsessed with watching ESPN. They have the Bago tournaments.
Oh, yeah. Unreal.
I've never really watched them, and after Warped Tour, when you and I and Buzz and stuff were playing all the time, it was just like now I'm just like fixed on watching that.
Dude, after Warped Tour, I remember I went home and watched a 2-hour broadcast of the 2018 like bags tournament, and there was a dude that went 6 rounds, 4 in.
Ugh. How many times did he sign? What, he signed the board like the whole time?
Every single time. He just had a pen in his hand as he was throwing. Dude, it's insane, man. Like, I don't know, man. It baffles me now because like now to just talk about my other thing. Like, I get to see amazing feats of athleticism all the time. Yeah. And I get to see it a lot of times. I get to see it right here.
Yep.
A guy flying at me doing something fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
And like, it's as he's coming at me, I'm like, is this CGI? And then you get hit and you're like, oh fuck, that hurt. But like I think the last 2 years I've been so blown away at just how sick human beings are. Yep. And how like even if there's a nutcase that's like eating his own hair, you see a guy like crazy person on the bus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we're mechanical, like we're all mechanical, and everything in this world is mechanical. And like you see something like that in that guy's head, he thinks everything's fine, everything's normal.
Yeah.
He's just par for course right there. You know what I mean? But then like you see crazy businessmen who have a Bluetooth in their ear, don't spend any time like paying attention to what's here.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of crazy, man. Like, just one dude has no money, one dude has a ton of money. Just the human body is just incredible. Like, human beings, if you're one of those people that are like, oh fuck humanity, it's just like, dude, like, if that's the case, just go swim and don't stop. You know what I mean? Like, just honestly, like, that's the case. Because yeah, we're all stuck in houses and shit like that. But like I said, like, it's making us all think outside of the box because our phone means nothing now. Totally. You know what I mean? The communication part is cool. Yeah. But dude, I go on my phone, I check MMA sites. I still look at 42 years old. I still look at E-Bombs World. And then I'll text like my friends. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. Nothing, dude. Like, my phone sits. There was a day where me and Hannah, we went on this crazy walk, dude, for like hours. Yeah. And I was like, do you have your phone on you? I don't know where the fuck we are. And she's like, no. And I was like, I don't have my phone either.
Wouldn't be the first time you got lost in the woods.
No, absolutely not. Always. But it's just like one of those things. I think it's a really good thing that I don't think it's a good thing that we have a virus and we're, making things. I think it's good to get away. Yeah. And I think it's good that we are taking this break away from people, and like, you can make yourself healthier if you just you can make yourself healthier if you just apply yourself. Yeah. And that's the thing that's great is like people who have never applied themselves to something now has the ability to apply themselves to something. And I think a lot of great is going to come out of this break because people are now forced to basically like go revert back to like, and I like you remember we're the same age, so like when you were a kid, I remember telling Hannah this. Like I remember being 15. Think of like if you talk to a 15-year-old kid now, and you said when I was 15. I would call a person and just ask them if they wanted to go outside.
Yeah, or say, I remember having to wait for a phone call all day to wait for a phone call. I couldn't leave the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And like, if you think about it, it was just to go outside.
Yeah.
And then when you were there, you made the world happen.
Yeah.
Because like that, and in whatever world it is, if you're going to play with Ewoks, you're going to play with Ewoks. If you're going to fucking... you're going to be the garbage picker kid that like makes bikes. You're going to do that.
Yep.
Because you have nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't like video games. I mean, there were, but like.
Yeah. You could play Pokemon Go in the woods and find, imaginary, things, whatever. Yeah.
Like 15-year-old kids now, they had cell phones when they were like fucking 6 years old.
Yeah.
And like that's their. If you asked a kid like, hey man, like I'm going to take your phone from you. And you're going to go outside and just go outside. Go find a friend and go outside. I mean, not right now. Don't find a friend right now. But like go outside and find a friend and just make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was the thing, dude. When I was a kid, we used to do the stupidest things. If I could go back in time, there was a fucking guy in our neighborhood named Rambo that wore
John
a
Jay.
full print, legit Rambo. I wish I could remember his real name. I can't remember his real name. His real name was insane. But he wore a Budweiser full print, but it was full print on one side, and then Bud Light on the back.
Oh, sick.
So he was both brands right there. And like we used to just torment the dude.
Yeah.
Like he was a crazy dude that would walk around with a fucking machete. And like what was fun was we were just gonna go pick on Rambo and this guy would chase us around the neighborhood. And then like at the end of like when he would finally catch us, he didn't chop us up with a machete, but like he would just be like, "Oh, good one, guys. That was a fun one." You know what I mean? And then like go home and drink beer.
It's like the beginning of the movie. If this is dating me, but remember the movie Rad, where like Crew Jones is like he has his bike, and then the cops like looking at him, and they're like, you think they're chasing each other, but that's their ritual every day going to school.
Yeah, my dad told me a story that they used to literally call the cops on themselves just to get chased. And he would be like, "Oh yeah," I would go like up on the garage. He would go up on like a garage. He would steal tomatoes, and then they would just tomato cops, and then like jump off and just keep running.
Oh man!
So that's
that's next level.
60s. I mean, we're picking out a guy named Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of resembled like a vet, like not a veterinarian, but like a veteran of war.
Yeah.
But never left. Like the only war he was like who he liked more, Megadeth or Metallica. Like that was the only war that happened in this guy's mind. So like I'm not trying to make it sound like we picked on this like mentally handicapped guy. He was totally fine. He just loved metal and believed it.
Yeah.
There was a guy in my neighborhood that thought that the entire record Master of Puppets was written about him.
That's amazing. Was it?
Straight up. It probably was. I remember looking at we were in his house. He's telling me, he's like, "I think Sanitarium is written about me." And we're staring outside, and there was a puddle in his backyard. I was probably about 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Young headbanger. We used to just put Pantera on in his living room and just headbang.
That's awesome.
That's it. Windmill.
If he's still alive, we should go hang out sometime and headbang in his house.
I would love to, man. Justin Schultz, he was sick.
Let me know. I'm there.
But there was a puddle in his backyard, and he goes, "The other day, Bloody Mary came out of that puddle." And this dude was believing in Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
That's
unbelievable. Dude,
yeah.
Buffalo is one of my favorite places. It's very similar to where I'm from, Massachusetts, Danvers. I just love your stories because they remind me of my childhood and the people that I met. I used to have the same kind of friend who I used to be obsessed with Kiss, so he used to call me Kenny Kissio, and he used to give me like Kiss records, and we used to listen to Kiss together and hang out.
And it was awesome.
He was way older than me. I was like 13, he was probably 20.
Yeah. But it was cool, and he taught you about Kiss and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the best. Now there's no mentors. You got Spotify. You know what I mean? Like Spotify is someone's mentor. You know, they go to Metallica, then they listen to Megadeth, and then they listen to Anthrax or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's how they learn about metal. Like when I was a kid, you'd have like I remember I had a cousin Tony who had a mullet, and he like handed me like 2112 by Rush, and was like, "This is a sick record." And then you're listening to it, and like, where do you go from there? I mean, like, you know,
it's a mind
you go
blower.
Judas Priest. You know, like, cousin Tony was showing me a bunch. It was
great. That's awesome, dude. Well, hey, man, it's been awesome. I've kept you way too long, but listen, obviously I want to catch up with you. I haven't even talked to you since Warped Tour, so I figured it would be cool to say hi anyway. But everyone on this feed, just so you know, has just been saying how excited they are for the new record. Some people are asking about Synergy amps, if you want to plug in some of that. Are you still using the Synergy stuff?
Yeah, actually, my main guitar tone on the new record was like the Soldano. It was the Soldano. It was the Soldano. God damn it, mod into the Sin 1.
Yeah.
Into that 200-watt Seymour Duncan power amp.
Yeah.
And then it was that with the Arshan.
Oh, okay.
Arshan
that's
together.
Awesome. Blended.
And that was like my main guitar sound on the new record. So that Synergy stuff is amazing. Apparently, they just came out with the Uberschall mod, and the Uberschall mod is supposed to be insane.
John Brown was telling me that that's awesome. So
yeah.
Before when we get off this off the online, the live feed, I gotta tell you something about Synergy in a good way. But
good.
But it's all really, that stuff's all really good. But
it's unreal, man. I think like this, like if people are listening, like there's no reason to afford a fucking $2,500 amp.
No,
at all. It's and it want to know something. Any amp that's $2,000 or more is just a better made 5150.
Pretty much.
Listen, like it really is true. Like you're gonna get pretty much a same kind of sound with a 5150 that you're going to get with that $2,500 amp.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Synergy is that you can do all of that very cost efficiently. And you can listen to the Soldanos, and you can listen to the Uberschalls, and you can listen to the Angles, and you can, you know what I mean? Like, and like some of them, like in my opinion, the Soldano mod on that thing is better than the actual hot rod or the what the hell is it called? I don't know that whatever Soldano, the SLO.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's pretty insane. I'm not a fan of what's the British company? VH4.
Oh yeah. Diesel.
Like I'm not a fan of diesels, but the diesel mod for the Synergy is awesome. Like it sounds great.
Yeah.
It's an unreal product, man. Like they really got it figured out. And like you get tubes, and that's like for some reason people still give a shit over tubes and fucking solid state. Like X-Effects have no tubes, right?
I don't think they do.
They sound great.
Yeah.
it's like they sound great. And then there's amps with tubes that sound great.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
You figure it out. We're not going to solve everyone's problems today, but we will tomorrow. But all right, Andy, hang on the feed. But I'm going to say, everybody, thank you for watching and interview with Andy Williams from Every Time I Die. We'll be back here possibly Wednesday with another great artist. But please keep subscribing and following us on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you, guys. Later.
Bye, guys.
Hold on one sec.